Welcome back. It is great to have you with us. On to the final bell. We are brought to you by Lake Imaging. We've got plenty to get through now as a bit of a mid-season review, Scotland. Can I start with the really, really obvious ones? The one we always do. We're going to do BNF and All Australian up front. Top three in the best and fairest after round 11. The Cats sitting fourth on the ladder heading into the bye.
In first position, C. Guthrie.
Agree.
In second position, T. Stewart.
Agree.
In third position, T. Hawkins.
T. Hawkins.
Who have I missed?
T. Hawkins. No, I think you're pretty right there. I think that's pretty good.
I'll give you a top five. Yeah. Jay Selwood's probably got a lot of votes late.
Okay.
I. Smith could be a consistent sort of figure up there. There you go. There's five.
Yeah, not bad. No. Okay. I'll give you. I agree with your top three. I'll support your top three there. That's a good call.
Give me another two.
Everyone thinks Hawkins is slightly down on last year, which is winning a Coleman medal, but he's kicking plenty of goals. He's setting up. His score involvements are through the roof.
Yeah.
He's so selfless in all his movement. He allows Jeremy Cameron and Gary Rowan to get isolation. And he had his dancing shoes on the weekend. That was one highlight. He was pirouetting and blind turning and doing it all.
I might be being generous, but I think Guthrie and Stewart are out by a fair margin, maybe I should say.
Oh, by a country mile, yeah.
Yeah.
In a couple of the remember the lucky wins against Brisbane and we just got over the line against Hawthorn.
Yeah.
They, without Stewart and Guthrie and those, they were not wins.
Give me a 4 and 5. Give me another two.
Okay, 4 and 5.
I went Isaac Smith and Joel Selwood for those who missed it.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Isaac Smith in the top 5.
You're off the skipper.
Now, I think Joel's last three weeks have been brilliant. Brilliant. Yeah. I think his first 3 to 4 were solid. Yeah. Solid. Which leaves me to say that I'm going to give Isaac Smith 4th position right now, and I'm going to slot Mitch Duncan in at 5th. Even though did he miss the first game or was poor?
Didn't play the first game. Was knocked out in another game.
So he's going to suffer a little bit because of missed games.
Oh, that's
but I think Duncan's big games were big.
All right, that's fair.
I'm going to get him in there with Joel, probably 6, and maybe even our man Reggie making a little charge.
Well, after being dropped for the opening round.
Well, you had him dropped.
His last month, when he was being made a proper defender, has been outstanding.
So a colleague of yours in the Herald Sun wrote his All-Australian team, and it's included one Geelong player, Tom Stewart.
Tom Stewart made the bench.
A team that's fourth on the ladder.
Starcevic is having a better year than Tom Stewart. I didn't know Craig Starcevic was still playing the game. So
can I ask a question, Scott, around this type of thing? Is there an intention for 1 or 2 spots to be so ridiculous that it's there to create a little bit of back and forth and banter and conversation and clicks and what are they, posting comments and everything like that? Brandon Starcevic does a really good job of shutting down, but Tom Stewart shuts down fantastic players as well, but gets the footy and takes intercept marks and does it all. He doesn't just attack like some defenders do. He doesn't just defend like Starcevic does. He does the lot. How is he not on the field?
I think that is a stretch, to be fair to Mark. His obsession with wingmen, which I think was brought up last year against your mob who select this team, and you were criticised for just, as you are every year, you put midfielders all over the place, which you have to do. But he's got Ed Langdon in from Melbourne. Yeah, and now, if Ed Langdon is still there in 11 weeks when you announce your team, Cameron, I will give up the podcast.
Ed does a lot of running to support his teammates out on the wing.
Good hair. I'm all about hair now.
Fantastic hair. It is funny. I get like Hugh McCluggage on the wing. Not
No
a problem.
problem at all.
No worries.
But he plays inside as well as wing. Like he doesn't just sit on the wing at the Gabba.
So this is the thing: the number of mids who can go to the outside when needed. They can go inside. They can go outside. They have a huge impact on games. To then just allow someone to go, well, I play my role by working up and down the wings and just covering things. So he's now saying, well, the importance of a winger is just to be a defender and just to cover outlets.
I'd argue
so if that's the case and that's the criteria, great. So we're now picking a wingman as a defender.
Well, if you're picking a wingman, just a pure wingman, Mitch Duncan, even like we said, missed a couple of games. He's clearly in ahead of Ed Langdon.
Well, Isaac Smith is.
Well, yeah. Well, there you go.
And he hasn't been that good, Isaac Smith, to be in the All Australian team. No. But he's been more influential in games than Ed Langdon.
Yeah, so Cam Guthrie didn't make it, which is interesting. I mean, he's competing with the likes of Zach Merritt, Jack McRae. Like, it's pretty good.
A good bunch. Petrarca and Oliver have been amazing. Bontempelli's been incredible.
Tommy Liberatore's in the guts. He's been very good.
No, I agree with all of those. I think Cam Guthrie deserves to be in amongst that group, though.
He got one last year, didn't he? You got him in last year.
Do you reckon I have that much sway over it?
Of course you do. You just stand up and go bang, bang, bang.
Okay, so in contention, I would say Guthrie. It's our top three in the BNF. Guthrie, Stewart, and Tom Hawkins, with Mitch Duncan, depending on he may end up missing too many games. If he missed another couple in the back half of the year.
Mark's tall forwards are Taylor Walker at centre forward. It's probably fair enough. He's resurrected himself. I'll give him that.
For now.
And Harry Mackay is leading the Coleman. Yep. So it's not bad. And he's gone for smalls around. There's a lot of smalls rather than a third tall where Hawk would be.
So I don't want to take anything away from Taylor Walker as a selection.
And what he's there at the end of the season.
And what he's done this year. But you give me a choice, even based just on this year, which is what the team's got to be, not on reputation. I'm still taking Tom Hawkins. Hawk hasn't quite kicked as many goals as Taylor Walker, but he's setting up a heap more. His influence is greater on games. I'd still be taking him, but that can be personal choice. All right, that's the obvious ones, top three in All Australian.
Yes.
I want to know, biggest improver in the Geelong group.
If I could have $1,000 on who you're going to say, and I'll let you say it.
The man that we spoke to a few weeks back, and then he signed a new contract. And he went to strength after he came on the podcast. Jack Henry. Jackie boy's been amazing.
Yeah, well, they found a role. They took a few weeks to find it. Now they've released Blitz Abs, and he's the man, really.
But do you know what it shows, though? Once you feel comfortable in a role, he is now backing himself to mark the footy. He's seeing the game ahead of. I love the fact even when he's picking it up, a bit under the pump, and there's a bit coming at him, he's saying, "Okay, I can step around you, and then I can pick a target out, and away we go." His composure has increased tenfold over the last 5 or 6 weeks.
All right, we'll take your love child out of it. Who's next?
Who's yours?
Well, I'm weighing up. I mean, problem is, like, my man Close and Atkins were both good last year. Atkins in a new role. Do you say he's improved? I think he's seized that role and made it his own. Close is getting better and better. So is that most improved?
Do you think Brandon Parfitt has improved enough again to be classed as biggest improver? Or is he just a natural step up again?
Yeah, that sort of makes it infers that he needed to improve, if that makes sense. He was an elite mid with injury issues last year.
I think he was
you reckon he's gone up?
I think he was not
elite mid, a very good mid.
Yeah, he was a solid to good mid last year who you saw more and more glimpses of what he could be. I think this year in the taking ownership without Dangerfield and all that there, he's gone to the next level. He's still not Bontempelli and those types of levels, but he's in that tier below of just can really influence games with all facets of his game.
He owned that game on Saturday when it was interesting for a quarter, and then he got bored and we all got bored. But, yeah, he dominated that game. Like, he can do that. He's at that level now. So that's a fair call. I'll give you that one.
All right. Give me Give me your most valuable recruit.
Well, Isaac, we've pumped up clearly. Sean Higgins had injury issues.
No, we haven't seen our best from Sean Higgins
No.
yet. That is not. That's still a work in progress. Is it Jeremy Cameron, or is it Isaac Smith?
Well, the moment Jeremy Cameron came in, Geelong started playing way better. He's done a few, he's kicked threes and he's been solid. He hasn't been spectacular, but he's clearly helped other people around him by being there.
So on complete and consistency for the season, it's Isaac Smith. But for what he's done for the crowd and the supporters and the team and everything.
Everything clicked the moment he got there. That West Coast game was just like, oh, here we are. We can now play the way we want to play.
Okay, speaking of excitement, most exciting player under the age of 21.
Jordan Clark. How old's Brad Close? He's not over 21, is he? He might be.
Brad Close might be over. I think he's over 21. While you're talking, I'll look.
Maxie Holmes. Haven't seen enough of Maxie yet.
No, Brad Close is 22.
Oh, it's a disaster.
Sparkle Narkle's too old, isn't he?
Is he? Sparkle. Well, Jack Henry, he's only 21, isn't he?
Sparkle's 23. He doesn't get in there. We don't have that many under the age of 21, perhaps.
How old's Henry?
Jackie Boy is... that's a really good... No, he's been there too long. No, Jack Henry's definitely not under 21. He is 22. Oh, he's not that far off.
Yeah, there you go.
So you got a choice between Max Holmes, Jordan Clark...
we're running out of...
And are we missing anyone? That's about it, under 21.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, no,
all the listeners will probably be yelling at their devices right now saying we're missing a really, really obvious one.
No, we're not, are we? No, I don't think we are. Well, I'm glad Max got another game. I mean, the talent's there. You can see he's got a few tricks. But I'm still under 21. I'm backing in Jordan Clark every day of the week.
Clarkie. Okay. Most underrated player?
Maybe Zachary Tui. I'm coming back to him. I think we forgot how important he is, and he's had that month that's just gone, whoa. He's very he's played well, the team's played well. Cameron came in, team played well. Does that make sense?
Is Tom Stewart still underrated, even though he's already in that bracket? Is he underrated?
Two-time All-Australian. No, you got to move on from that.
He's two-time All-Australian, but he's not spoken about like
not underrated.
Jeremy McGovern and Darcy Moore and these types of players.
But on this format, he's not underrated. We can't say he's underrated.
Okay.
Who plays their role, just goes about it that you're happy with this year. Well, Atkins, we mentioned, obviously. That's been...
A man who might come back for Port but could be the Dogs. What about Mark the Shark O'Connor?
Well, we love him, but he's had the longest injury in the history of injuries. It was just a little tweak. We need the Sharks back.
I'm not going to be able to get him over the line, am I? Speaking of players who might be back for Port but could be pushed out to the Dogs, Patrick Dangerfield, looking like.
Would be a week too soon, but I think Patrick's keen to get going. Duncan and Cam Guthrie, you think, would be back. Blitzaz would be back, so it'll be a pretty solid team.
Yes. No, I like the sound of that. Any other categories you want to do before we take a break and get to the questions?
No, my camera's frozen, so I don't know. I'm all confused, Cameron.
Yeah, but your camera's frozen on a beautiful shot of you just looking very cool and calm and the hair just flowing out the back.
I'm wearing I can't see now, my New York Knicks t-shirt. How good have my Knicks been?
Mate, you're a Boston Celtics fan, and they are garbage in these playoffs.
We had two of our three best players not playing, Cameron. What do you think?
Even the biggest Celtics fan...
Even the greatest stacked team in history.
The biggest Celtics fan in history, Bill Simmons, says this Celtics team is soft this year. Well, mind you, Jason Tatum can play a bit. I'll give him credit.
All right, we digressed.
All right, let's take a break.